All right, guys, so we made it here to the Choctawhatchee River. We are in Ponce de Leon. It's actually Bruce, Florida, but the address is Ponce de Leon. You can see it behind me. The old Fluke Master and Ryan are with us today. We're gonna head up. We're staying at the Choctaw Lodge. Ron and Catherine, the folks that run this place, have been gracious enough to let us stay here and film and promote the region of the Choctawhatchee River. And this place is right with history. So we're gonna go check out the lodge, get settled in, pull up some maps, some aerial photos, and see what we can find. Let's go check it out. Oh, this place looks nice.
It is nice. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, we're not slumming it here, for sure. I think I'll take this room. Water's high.
Got high water.
Like there's a lot of water, like too much water. At about a foot and it'll be up in the yard, so.
And the wind's blowing against the current.
So there's white caps out there. So we may have to audible. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go check out this little state park lake that is this tannic water, really black water that they have around here. And we're gonna meet up with Ron, who runs Choctaw Lodge, and discuss our options with him, and then decide what we're doing in the morning. But I'm thinking one of those blackwater lakes loaded with cypress trees, you know, maybe the ticket for finding some Florida strain spawning, getting ready to do their thing, and we could put a jig or a Senko or a plastic or a small worm in their face and get them to eat it. So I'm gonna grab our stuff and go do that. A little rat action, a little buzzbait action, and a little prop bait action. It's gonna happen. I'll tell you one thing, Gene's a good fisherman, but when it comes to getting ready in a hurry, it's a good thing he didn't become a fireman, because the whole house would be burned down by the time he got there. He'll make it out there when he makes it out there. All right, so we've made it out on the water, been out here for about an hour. We've kind of paddled around and checked out the place. It's not super big. It's probably, you know, if I had to guess, 20 acres. There's a lot more water right now than you can see on Google Earth, which means, you know, some of the rains have probably brought it up, and we may even be sitting in water that's normally not passable. But this place is amazing. I mean, there's some like big Harry Potter looking trees in here, some like, you know, just stuff out of a movie. And it's a maze. So the warmest water temperature I've found yet is 59.1 degrees, but I paddled to this side expecting to go up this finger, but it's blocked by a walking bridge. So I'm gonna head over to the other side of the lake and see if it's a little warmer and if that's where the fish are. I'm gonna work around and cut up in there where them last trees are getting sun. Look, look, look. So if you guys are familiar with the term in boxing, protect yourself at all times, that rule applies when you're fishing with me. If you leave your kayak unattended and you have a power pole, I'm gonna sync my remote to your pole, wait for you to get out there, power pole you down, and then leave you there for a while to think about it. Because the only way he can paddle is to let go of that button. And when he lets go of the button, his power pole is going down. Hey, look at him. Well, guys, it is getting dark, which means it's getting cold. So tomorrow we're gonna go try something else here in the southern part of the panhandle of Florida. And yeah, see if we can't get on a big old bass or a redfish or a shark or some flounder or something. And then we'll just see how Ryan gets out of this predicament. We'll give you an update tomorrow. Let's go, Gene. No, seriously, Gene. Let's go. Later. All Right, so not only do the folks at Choctaw Lodge have probably the coolest lodge when it comes to attention to detail and the setting that I've ever seen, but Ron has actually gone out of his way to help us find a few places to get out of the flooded, backwaters of the main river. And so Ron, tell everybody where we're at right now.
Yeah, this is Black Creek. It's an isolated part of the delta for the Choctawhatchee River. It goes into Choctawhatchee Bay and Black Creek, and you can see why they call it that.
Old black water?
The color is black, yes,
That's
sir.
old Florida.
Yeah.
Water's cold, and it's cold for Florida, so we're gonna head back up here. A lot of this might be an exploratory from when we come back, but the Choctaw Lodge is on my list of places to go every year, and multiple times a year, so it should be on your list as well.
Choctawhatchee River is not one that's very well known. It's really a great kayaking area. We've got a lot of river sloughs and lakes and back river places that you don't get a lot of fast traffic from boats that you can go and enjoy. You're going to have an adventure probably like you've not had before.
So we're working our way up this little slough arm, and it gets shallower in the back and it basically dead ends. And what we're hoping is that in the shallow black water, that the water's gonna warm up in that slough first, and maybe those fish will move up shallow. And the great thing about a creek like this that is kind of bell-shaped, vertical banks on both sides, it's real easy for them to move to deep water as the shallow water starts to warm up and pull up in there. But with turbulent weather, they can drop back off in that deep water for stability again. Hey Gene, are you marking any fish over there?
On what fish finder?
Oh, you don't have a fish finder?
No, I don't have a fish finder. I don't need one.
Well, yeah. We'll, I think you can say that once you find some fish. But anyway, the water temperature is 57 right here, man, and
What was it out on the main creek?
59, but that was surface.
Yeah.
So this thing is actually 16 feet deep in the middle, and I'm sitting in 9 foot right here, about 10 feet off the bank.
Yeah.
But I'm marking a bunch of fish in 8 foot of water. So I may have to put on, a soft plastic or a little deeper diving crankbait. But
Yeah.
so far I'm just getting pickerel on this jerk bait.
Fish on.
Fish on. Is it a bass? When most people think of Florida, they think of the Sunshine State with beaches and Disney World, but this is my favorite part of Florida. This is the old Florida. It's the Blackwater and Tannic creeks, oaks and pines and little islands everywhere and gators and birds and just, it's wild. It's wild Florida. Those guys are the only true pro fishermen. They do it for a living. And so wherever he's fishing, I want to be fishing.
So one of the things that I have fallen in love with when it comes to fishing from a kayak is the ability to go exploring. You're not limited to what you can pull a trailer and drop your boat into. You can drag your kayak just about anywhere. So we find ourselves going into some of the most amazing places that are really difficult to access for the most part, unless you're just dragging a plastic boat behind you. Things like deep cypress swamps or little creeks that we had to drag a quarter of a mile through the woods to get to. Just phenomenal little places you can just go in and explore through national forests. I spent a lot of time looking on Google Earth and Google Maps and trying to figure out how to get to these places. And once I figure it out and get there, you know what? 9 times out of 10, catching a fish is just a bonus.
Well guys, that fishing trip turned into a pretty paddle for Gene and I. Ryan actually caught a fish. We marked a lot of fish. Water temperature is 57 degrees. Here's one of the other great things about this part of Florida. Jackson County is only about an hour away, and Jackson County has half of Lake Seminole. It was great exploring Black Creek. Choctawhatchee is a little too high right now, so again, it's one of the great things about this place is there's so many different options that if one place is blown out or the fish aren't biting or you can't find them, you can go try somewhere else.